Today's video is all about understanding that the blueprint for fulfillment, success, and leading a passionate, purposeful, and pliable life is already embedded in you. We're going to be going on a little bit of a treasure hunt today to understand how to find it and what to do when you do find it. So let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. Welcome back. Welcome to, if you're new, my name is Abria Perry and welcome to my channel. I run a brand called FinStyle where we empower individuals to lead passionate, purposeful, and pliable lives, and I am so excited that you're here today. What if I told you that following a blueprint that wasn't designed for you is even more detrimental than following no blueprint at all? Today we're talking about becoming your future self and how everything that you need is already embedded in you. I want to encourage you to follow and embrace your own unique blueprint. This is the key to forging your own path towards a passionate, purposeful, and pliable life. Imagine a masterful architect standing before an empty canvas of endless possibilities. They're armed with a color palette that's vibrant and lots of different tools and a heart that is brimming with so many ideas and dreams it could overflow. They dare to envision creating something extraordinary out of nothing. This, my friend, is how you should dream and think of your own life, which you are the architect of. The blueprints for success and fulfillment have already been embedded in you, and it is just about using them strategically. So just like blueprints are the guide for the creation of a magnificent building, your dreams and aspirations and passions are the vivid blueprints of your personal journey, your FinStyle. Each line and curve, every shade and hue is a reflection of your distinct and unique essence. Beautiful, isn't it? I know it is. I think you pretty darn cool, if I do say so myself, but remember, there is no one size fits all approach to design. Your blueprint will be uniquely yours, and that is where the magic lies. That is why following a blueprint that is not designed for you is even more detrimental than following no blueprint at all. Sure, there might be moments when you glance at something or someone else's blueprint and think, should I be following that same path as well? But this is when we need to pause and take a deep breath. Those are simply distractions that are taking you away from creating your own masterpiece. I used to run track, and there are a lot of things that you can do in a race and still win. But looking in someone else's lane and getting distracted is absolutely positively not one of them. The second that you look at what someone else is doing, your race is virtually over. You have lost, because rather than focusing on your own race and what was in front of you, you decided to look to your left or your right and compare what you were doing to someone else, and it causes you to stumble or lose focus or, God forbid, completely stop running at all. So what I've learned is that when you feel that inkling to look at what someone else is doing, this is when it's time to reground yourself and root yourself in embracing your own blueprint and embracing it with unwavering courage, letting it lead you to the destinations that only you can reach because they have been uniquely designed for you. Sometimes these moments might feel like you're literally laying bricks in the pouring rain, while others may be having an exhilarating moment standing at the pinnacle of their dreams. But we continue going because it is not about what someone else is doing, but instead taking steps towards achieving what it is that we know is meant only for us. Embrace it all. The sweet, the tears, the laughter, they are what create the vibrant strokes of life. And they make the masterpiece that you are ultimately building and creating uniquely beautiful to you. So, even though the most grand skyscrapers start out as a single brick or a pour of concrete, each step and each choice, each effort you make brings you closer to creating this beautiful experience that is your life. When challenges arise, remember that those are the opportunities for you to showcase your resilience and your adaptability. This is where you find solutions that fit seamlessly into your blueprint. And if you are trying to fix issues in your own life with the blueprint of another, you not only won't fix the issues that are occurring, but you might end up creating more. So, there is so much joy in creating. You're meant to celebrate every milestone, no matter how small. I truly, truly believe that. Now, let's get tactical. What are some actionable steps or tasks that we can take towards discovering our blueprint and actually acting on it? First things first, I think that a period of reflection and discovery is incredibly important. In business, or when you're trying to come up with a strategy or a plan or really solve or find an answer to any problem, there is typically a research and discovery phase. And this is very, very important because it is a knowledge gathering process, right? It helps you to understand where you are, what is the current state that you are in order to understand where you need to go. I think the same is true in our life in many circumstances. So I have been known to always default to a research and discovery phase in any situation, whether it be good or bad. But particularly when I have no idea what to do or where to start, reflection and discovery is always my first step. And for me, this typically involves a considerable amount of time with God. My God happens to be Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Just need to specify. But I like to spend time with God. And I believe that this helps me to set a very strong foundation for whatever it is that I go on to find in this research and discovery phase, in this reflection and discovery phase. If what I find feels less than favorable, knowing that I went into it with God at the center helps me to process through that information with ease. So I like to take time to reflect on my passions, my strengths, my aspirations. What are the things that truly light up your heart? Just like an architect envisions a building, envision your life being what it is that you believe you are truly called to do. What is your skyscraper, right? What is your pie in the sky? What is your FinStyle? What do you deem most valuable? This reflection and discovery phase can be an hour or it can be 100 days. It is up to you. But however long you need, take it, because this is going to be the foundation and the guide for what comes next. Next up, I would encourage you to embrace your uniqueness. Embrace the fact that your blueprint is unique, like we have said many times before. Just as no two buildings will ever be the same, no two paths of an individual are going to be identical. So embracing your uniqueness is a step towards authenticity and genuine fulfillment, because you won't be chasing after what someone else has done or what you see someone else doing, but instead what is actually aligned with what you are most passionate about, what your purpose is, and what you feel like God is truly calling you to do and accomplish in this life. This is something that all too often we allow to kind of skirt to the side, that the piece of authenticity. What is actually most authentic to you? Like, genuinely think through that. Not what you think the world has told you is authentic. When you think about yourself, what actually feels most you? On a simple, like literally simple of simplest examples, let's talk about the clothes you wear. I personally am not a huge fan of bodycon dresses, tight anything really. It's a personal preference. It doesn't matter if I was at my smallest or if I was at my largest. I like to be comfortable. I tend to like flowier pieces, boxier pieces. I really love men's wear inspired items because I enjoy tailoring. I love jeans, but I also love skirts. And there was a period in college where I went through a level of panic because I'm like, what am I going to wear to parties? Like, I don't like wearing tight behind dresses. Like, what else does a girl in college wear to a party but a dress? I quickly figured out that I could do whatever I wanted. I could literally do whatever I wanted, and I showed up to every party dressed in a way that felt most authentic to me. And the one or two times early in my college career when I did not, I was automatically uncomfortable and unconfident and unable to really enjoy where I was or what I was doing because I did not show up authentically. But instead, I showed up how I thought others would want me to show up / how others were showing up in order to be accepted or fitting or seem like I belonged. When in reality, what I was really doing was making myself stick out like a sore thumb because my discomfort and feeling as though I did not belong was explicit. I think the same is true in our day-to-day lives when we show up any way that is unauthentic to our genuine selves. So oftentimes what happens is that our fear of showing up as our authentic self causes us to show up in a way that is unauthentic, and ultimately we still end up in a situation where we are not received or accepted because we so obviously do not belong in this space as the person that we've shown up in. So it's like you're so afraid of not being accepted that you do everything in your power to try to be accepted, which is completely opposite from who you truly are, and you still end up being unaccepted. And it's just like this endless cycle. When in reality, if you just showed up as your true self and your authentic self, perhaps you would be accepted, perhaps you wouldn't. But at the end of the day, at least you know that the way that you showed up is true and honest and uniquely you, and you can make an accurate decision on whether you belong in this space or not. There have also been times where you show up authentically and it is still just not a right fit. Not because others did not accept you as you are, but because you are simply not comfortable in the space. And showing up authentically, showing up as yourself, showing up honestly allows you to gauge what is truly right for you and move accordingly. What is truly aligned with who you are and who you want to become. Next up, taking timelines off the table. I think this is something that is so unbelievably crippling, and I can attest to this. Setting timelines, whether they be long or short, can be suffocating. It leaves no room for fluidity. It leaves no room for flexibility and the opportunity to be pliable and molded and shaped. And it does not leave any room for spontaneity, which I believe there is so much beauty in the spontaneous and in the unknown and in the things that God does that are so far left from what we could have ever thought. And when we place hard deadlines on everything, we completely limit the boundlessness of this life that we have been so fortunate and blessed with. I think that timelines and timing is important, right? We are always talking about productivity, right? But what good is productivity without purpose? Are you actually being productive if what you're working towards is purposeless and passionate? I don't think that's a word, passionless. But rather than backing yourself into a corner by setting deadlines, rather than backing yourself into a corner by setting hard deadlines, I encourage you to allow yourself to take your time. I think that outlines or parameters are helpful. I think that sometimes hard deadlines are limiting and discouraging because if you do not hit that, you feel as though you have failed, when in reality, maybe you are just simply meant to take your time in order to fully enjoy and develop accordingly. Move slowly, take pauses, prioritize your gut instinct, and leave yourself room to change your mind. I am the queen of changing my mind. I am the queen of pivoting. And I used to think that I was a habitual quitter. I used to think that I had a habit of leaving things unfinished, when in reality, what I learned was that I had mastered purposeful pivots. I had mastered knowing when it was time to go, when it was time to move, when it was time to change. And the one thing that truly allowed me to do that was not setting hard deadlines, not setting deadlines on how long I felt like I was supposed to be somewhere, when I thought I was supposed to arrive somewhere else. When you set hard deadlines and timelines, you limit yourself. And I stand behind that belief because my life is a testament of that. So take your time and pause if you must. There is so much beauty and intention and necessity in standing still and just stopping. I would rather be doing nothing at all than doing the wrong thing. And I think that that is a crucial part of following the blueprint. If you are building something or creating something and you realize that a piece is missing, or you don't have what you need, or you do not completely understand how to get to the next step, forcing it could put everything that you have created up until this point in jeopardy. When if you had just taken a step back and reassessed and stopped acting and doing, you may have found clarity or found that piece that was missing that allowed you to continue moving forward. You could either ruin what it is that you have built or put yourself steps back. And now your timeline that you were so attached to is completely in jeopardy. But if you had just stopped, perhaps you could have recouped that time on the other side of that pause. Overcoming doubt and comparison is truly like, listen, the second that we all stop giving a flying about what the person to our left and our right believe or think about us, oh, and it's hard because I do it and you do it and we all do it. But every step that we take towards caring less about this is like a weight is lifted, like a chain is broken. When doubt and comparison tries to derail you, remind yourself of your unique blueprint. Stay focused on your path and remember that every great building started with a single brick. It is not about where they are, what they are doing, how far ahead of you believe they might be. It is about laying one brick at a time to create your own path, to build your own building, to get where you are meant to be. I believe this with every fiber of my being. And going back to our analogy about running track, the second that I have ever looked in someone else's lane is the second that I lose my race. It has happened more times than I would like to say. And at this point, I don't even risk it. Like, it's not even worth it. I know how this story is going to end. It's literally like I can see the future. Yeah. 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 You know when you do stuff and you're like, literally, like, I can't help but laugh at myself because, girl, what were you doing? What were you doing? But I appreciate it. Like, I'm appreciative of it because you have to experience certain things in order to be able to say, I never want to do that again. You have to have a little, a little scrape, a little scar, a little something to remind you of the pain that action caused you in order to not duplicate it. Because, and last, but certainly not least, adapt and innovate. Architects adapt their plans. The more information they have, the more knowledge that they get, the better understanding that they have of where it is that they're building and where they're going and how the thing that they're building needs to function. They adapt. They adapt when challenges arise. They are open to adapting their path in order to achieve what it is that they set out to achieve. We have to embrace challenges and see them as opportunities for growth and innovation, and find creative solutions to those challenges that arise. I think that is 99.999% of the beauty of challenges. The creative solutions that we employ to solve them, and finding those solutions and thinking out of the box in order to come up with those solutions. Sometimes it is not about the actual solution, but the process and the journey to coming up with that truly lights a path for how you are meant to move forward after solving that problem. Sometimes you realize that what it is that you did to get there is maybe actually what you're meant to be doing. You think that in that process, you're simply creating a solution, and then once you've solved that problem, you're going to continue on with the path that you were on before that problem arose. But really, it's like that problem arose that you needed a solution for was not the thing, but the thing that was leading to the thing. We've said a lot. Let's pause and chat a little bit in the comment section. Send me a DM. Follow me on Instagram at Abria Perry, and follow our official FinStyle page at FinStyle Official to connect more broadly with the FinStyle community. I would absolutely love to answer any question that you all have, and I want to hear about your personal treasure hunt towards finding your inner blueprint, finding the plan and the path that has been uniquely instilled in you as you journey towards living a passionate, purposeful, and pliable life. I so enjoyed chatting with y'all. This was the highlight of my day, week, year. And I want you all to be sure to stay tuned for part 2 to learn how to create sustainable practices to keep you on track and that allow you to properly build what it is that you have been called to build. There will be a part 2. I hope that you all enjoyed this part 1 and that you'll go back and check out some of our other videos to better understand what we're doing over here and why we believe that you need to be a part of it. I love you so very much. I mean that with my entire heart. Like, I could cry. I could cry because sitting here right now talking to you all feels so aligned with my personal FinStyle and the blueprint that I feel like God has instilled and woven into my DNA, that it could bring me to my knees. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. I feel like I am walking in my purpose in my passion more so than I ever have in my entire life. And I am so overwhelmingly joyful that you have chosen to click on this video and be here with me. And I will see you guys in part 2. Bye.